2018 was a crazy year, not just for Americans, but for the entire world. In the middle of the year, migrants from Central and South America began traveling to seek refuge within the United States. In February, I sought out two filmmakers from Atlanta who were crazy enough to come down with me to Tijuana to document the situation. That's Will, and that's Jacob. While they spent most of this documentary behind the camera, they deserve all the credit for its creation. I couldn't have done any of this without them. When we arrived in Tijuana, we expected to document and film the most recent caravan, but we found so much more than that. Generations of immigrants either trying to return to the United States or seek refuge for the first time were filmed. My words can't properly illustrate what we witnessed, so enough of me talking. I'm Philemon Viennes, and this is Turbulence in Tijuana. In 2017, Tijuana was recorded as one of the top 5 deadliest cities in the world. In 2018, it held on to its reputation as over 2,500 people were killed. We knew this stat, but we also knew there was and is an immigration crisis occurring, a crisis that involves many untold stories from individuals trying to seek a better life. Before we were able to peer into their lives, we made a quick stop in San Diego to talk to a man who was on the front lines of operations assisting migrants and deportees in the US and Mexico. His name is Enrique, and his opinions, well, you can judge them for yourself.
What is Border Angels?
The Border Angels is a non-profit organization which I had the honor of starting back in 1986. So we've been around for a long time. And our mission statement says, love has no borders, and we advocate for human rights and for people crossing borders all over the world. We're based right here in San Diego, and some of the better known things that we do is put water in the desert, which I started doing in 1996, 10 years after I started the organization, because in 1994 the United States built a wall between the United States and Mexico, which covers a third of the border. And I saw that all these people were dying, so I said, that's enough of that. So we started going out there to place water. We go visit day laborers, the guys that are standing around looking for work. We do it in San Diego, where we are right now. We do it in Tijuana, we do it in Los Angeles. We do it all over. We have chapters and people that are volunteers for Border Angels across the United States, Mexico, Europe, and other parts of the world. So for us, we realize that now, with the evil that's coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, there's never been a more important time to rise up and resist. And that's what Border Angels is all about.
Describe the situation in Tijuana with migrant caravans.
Caravans have been taking place since the beginning of time. The Exodus from Egypt, the Santa Maria, the Pinta, and the Nina, the 3 ships that came across from Europe to the United States, the stagecoaches from the East Coast to the West Coast. Those are all caravans. People travel in caravans because there's safety in numbers. The caravans that have come from Central America in the last year and a half or so are still within really low numbers of overall undocumented migration to the United States. Undocumented migration to the United States has never been so low in my lifetime. What happens is you have this evil person at Washington, D.C. named Donald Trump, and he's saying that in the caravans there's ISIS and all these criminals. That's not true. Are there some bad apples in the caravans? I'm sure there are. Are there bad apples in the Border Patrol? I know there are. Are there bad apples at the White House? There definitely is. So these caravans are people that are fleeing from hunger or from violence. If they're fleeing from violence, like people do all over the world, they have every right to seek asylum. It's happening in the San Diego sector, where we have a very racist Border Patrol chief named Rodney Scott, is he has his agents walking those people back to the wall and having them jump back over the wall or through the wall. That's totally illegal. Totally illegal. The Border Patrol has been tear gassing people, women and children. And Rodney Scott has said, oh, they were throwing rocks at us first. And I go, Rodney, come on, think about it. If I'm going to jump over the wall or go through the wall or over the wall or whatever, I'm not going to throw rocks at the Border Patrol and then say, I want to claim asylum. That would get them mad. Nobody would do that. But if you start tear gassing women and children, people are going to pick up rocks and throw them at the Border Patrol station to put an end to this. And one of the biggest differences between the United States and other countries is that the United States is not a very welcoming country. There's approximately 200 countries in the world. The United States is 21st when it comes to welcoming migrants. And the first countries, the first three in order, Germany, Sweden, and Lebanon, they have nothing to do with why the people left their home country. The U.S. has a lot to do with why people leave their home country. The interference in the politics of Central America, the invasion of Iraq, the demand for the illegal drugs. The U.S. should be more welcoming, and it's not. And I'll say, yeah, but 5 times more likely that a citizen will commit those crimes. Instead of having better laws and better gun laws and preventing people from committing these criminal acts, they like to focus on those individual cases. Undocumented migration, if it was increased, would actually make this a safer country, as it has all over the world. San Diego, Tijuana is the biggest border community along the entire U.S.-Mexican border. San Diego was the safe city before the wall was put up, and it's the safe city now. El Paso, which is the second largest city on the border with Mexico, is the safest city in the United States. And as the Republican mayor said recently of El Paso was safe before the wall, and it's safe now. So the undocumented migrants, they are, for the most part, hardworking, family-valued people that are simply trying to provide for their family. They add a lot to this country or whatever the country they go to because they bring those values. So that $5.7 million bill that he had out there that he was trying to pass, of course it was shut down, and they just came to a compromise, and there's going to be 55 more feet of wall. Finally, there's going to be more wall. That 55-foot wall, that's part of the 700-foot wall commitment from 2006 with President Bush. So it's not new wall. It's finally terminating the Secure Fence Act, where they had built 645 feet. They had authority to build 700 feet. Trump hasn't figured that out. So there's no new wall. And like most people will tell you, walls are not the answer. We all want secure borders, but we need to have intelligent borders. So the people that are crossing the border from any part of the world into the United States, like these asylum seekers from Central America specifically, a third of them will go back to Central America. They'll say, forget it. I thought it was going to be a different situation. Another third is going to say, I really like it here in Mexico. Same language, similar culture, and they'll stay, like the Haitians did. And it's the other third that's going to still try. Either they're going to continue waiting in line to wait their turn, to be rejected on their asylum claim, although they hope that they'll be accepted, and some will jump over the wall.
What health issues did the migrants have coming to Tijuana?
So the migrants that are coming to Tijuana from Central America have traveled thousands of miles. It's only natural that they would have some health issues that affect them, not health issues that will affect the community like the mayor suggested. So we work with a lot of organizations. The best organization at that is actually a French organization called Doctors Without Borders. There's a branch of that in Mexico, Doctores Sin Fronteras. Plus, we've been working with doctors from Southern California, from UCLA, UCI, UCSD, and they've been doing a great job. They came down, we have a caravan of love on Saturdays. They came down on our first one, and then they kind of branched off and started doing their own thing because they saw the situation, how they could be most effective, and they're doing a great job. Yeah, because these people have been traveling for weeks and for miles, so they have health issues that need to be taken care of. And for the most part, it's being dealt with, but we still need more help.
After we finished interviewing Enrique, we traveled about an hour south to cross the border into Tijuana.
So we made it to the U.S.-Mexican border, and as you can see, Tijuana is right behind us. So we're gonna go walk across right now. See you guys on the other side.
We were gonna meet up with our friends Yadira and Carlos, who had agreed to take us around the city, but we ended up crossing the border pretty late.
So we made it to Tijuana, and as you can see, the neighborhood that we're staying in is actually really, really nice. But just down the street are migrants staying in shelters from farther down south of Central America and parts of South America. Tomorrow we're going to go and explore that area and then try to get interviews with those migrants. But for now, we're all really, really tired, so I think we're going to call it a night. On our first day in Tijuana, we sought out the immigrants that we originally intended to film. We traveled to a public park that we thought Central Americans from the most recent caravan were staying. However, when we arrived, we were told that all the people living in the park were Mexican citizens who were either deported from the US or just struggling economically. While we originally thought this had absolutely no relation to the immigration issues in Tijuana we wanted to document, we were badly mistaken. We met Julio, one of the unofficial leaders of the group, as he was helping give out food. Julio told us that he recently lost his job and he couldn't pay for his rent, so he found his way to the camp. Unfortunately, Julio's situation isn't an anomaly. The average daily wage in Mexico in January 2019 was around 372 pesos, or 19 US dollars. In Mexico, it's not uncommon for police to harass and even attack those without a home. To make matters worse, Julio told us that almost all of their social aid they were receiving was now being diverted away from the camp to help the influx of immigrants from Central and South America. Describe that camp back there.
Pues mira, pues todos los que están aquí, pues cada uno hace su lucha, ¿no? Pues ahora sí que por sobrevivir, ¿no? Pues todos, pues puede ser que somos una familia. De una u otra forma todos nos ayudamos. Pues la vida aquí pues está un poco pues difícil por los problemas que digo que han pasado con la policía. Pues que el lugar, pues como no nos quieren aquí, pues por el lugar que es supuestamente privado, pero pues es un lugar público, ¿no? Pues qué te puedo decir, o sea, no.
How long ago did the Mexican authorities start bothering you and your family?
Aproximadamente tienen, bueno, desde que se empezó el proyecto aquí, venían una que otra vez por decir a la semana. Pero ahora ya tienen lo que es un mes más o menos aproximadamente, que es de cada tercer día. Ahorita desde que nos quemaron las casetas, eso, o sea, no nos han molestado para nada. Pero si mira, pasan por afuera de la banqueta y eso, o sea, sí se llevan a la gente. Ya no se han metido, pero sí, de un mes para acá es cada tercer día.
Do you fear for your life from the authorities?
Pues la mera verdad, pues no les tengo miedo. Y temer por mi vida no, pues no, porque no estoy haciendo nada malo. Al contrario, es ayudar a lo que es a la gente.
How often were you receiving aid from non-government organizations?
Pues desde que empezó el proyecto, pues prácticamente diario venía diferente gente, ya sea a traernos latas, pues o gente ya con comida preparada pues para cada persona. Era diario. Yo creo que, pues así, bajita la mano, lo que fue el desayuno, comida y cena, diario había.
Is attention diverted away from this camp now, from non-government organizations?
Como te vuelvo a repetir, por culpa de las otras personas, pues sí se nos alejó mucha gente. De hecho, a esas personas se llevaron a la gente para el albergue que tienen antes de que hubieran hecho este proyecto. Se llevaron a mucha gente para allá porque dijeron que ya iban a cerrar aquí, que ya no iba a haber nada de gente.
What happened this when it rains?
Gran dilema. Pues prácticamente pues dormimos en una cama de agua, se puede decir, porque si pues las casitas de campaña no aguantan lo que es, pues ahora sí que lo que es una tormenta de agua, o sea, no te aguantan mucho. Nosotros tratamos de cubrirlas con plásticos, pues con lonas, pero es tanta ahora sí que la fuerza que tiene el agua para poder escapar, para poder salir, para poderse escabullir, que de una u otra forma se entra. entre el agua, a pesar de que las cubrimos con lonas, plásticos.
Where do you see yourself in 1 or 2 years?
¿Dónde me veo? Buena pregunta. Me veo con mi gente. Me veo en un lugar mejor, eso sí. Pero me veo con mi gente ayudándole, como lo he hecho desde que caí yo aquí.
Once we finished interviewing Julio, we thought it would be best to go and visit some of the shelters in the surrounding area. But most of the shelters were closed during the middle of the day. Our goal of finding and interviewing immigrants from the South was going to be harder than we thought. We were going to break for lunch when we stumbled upon a small apartment housing between 30 to 40 people.
So we're a couple streets away from our Airbnb actually, and we're about to visit a shelter here in Tijuana. We're hopefully going to get some migrants from the recent caravan, but it looks like these are older deportees and people trying to make it into the United States.
We met Carlos, an immigrant from Honduras, who was deported from Atlanta, Georgia in 2017 after the company he was working for was raided by ICE. Now, he's just trying to survive the poverty of Mexico and make his way back to a better life.
Do you have family back in Honduras?
Sí, tengo familia, tengo mi papá, mi mamá, mis hermanos, mis sobrinos, tengo mi familia.
Did you travel by yourself?
Sí, por mi propia cuenta, yo vengo en el tren, en la bestia.
What was the journey like coming to Tijuana?
Oh, ese viaje fue muy duro. Se sufrió mucho en ese camino.
Describe the most difficult part of traveling across the entire country of Mexico.
Oh, pues México, la verdad, es difícil todo, la verdad. Porque ahí te tienes que andar cuidando de que te asalten, que te pegue, que te ponen un cuchillo o cualquier cosa. Tienes que cuidarte mucho porque no hay lugar fácil para cruzar. Para nosotros los centroamericanos, no hay lugar fácil para cruzar por México.
Was there anyone that you traveled with that you know that was injured on the travel here or that even died?
Pues la verdad, no me tocó ver esto en esta vez. Pero yo tengo 33 años y hace 15 años me vine la primera vez para Estados Unidos. Y ahí sí se encontraba gente muerta. Partida por el tren, partidos, los partí el tren. Había veces que solo hallabas esta parte de aquí para arriba o esta parte de aquí para abajo. Así tirada, pedaceada en las vías del tren. Son cosas que nunca piensas, nunca te imaginas que va a pasar. Yo tengo año y medio que me deportaron.
So, what's life like in Tijuana?
Fíjate que la verdad, la vida aquí para mi persona, es difícil. Gracias a Dios tengo el apoyo del señor de aquí de la casa del migrante, que es el que me ha hecho el favor de que me esté varios días acá. Tengo 2 semanas de estar acá y aquí estuvieron dando un permiso para que tú pudieras trabajar legalmente, pero como yo no lo logré sacar, entonces se me hace muy difícil. Yo no tengo trabajo, hay veces que camino sin un 5 en la bolsa, sin nada, y casualmente así ando ahorita, porque el no tener papeles no me hace posible tener trabajo, porque voy a las construcciones, voy a los restaurantes, casualmente a una taquería, a un puesto de tacos que está aquí a las espaldas de ustedes, fui a pedir trabajo y también me lo negaron. No más por no tener un papel, por eso me hace muy difícil, la verdad. Yo el único apoyo mío es aquí, la casa del inmigrante, porque si no fuera por la casa del inmigrante, yo creo que andaría viviendo de mi cuenta. A mí me gusta mucho Atlanta. Yo la verdad, en el tiempo que estuve allá, yo sentí mi casa allá. Yo sentí que era todo y por eso es mi sueño volver a regresar. Y que se había acabado toda la oportunidad que tenía, porque tenía poco de tenerlo. Y pues los sueños que llevaba en la mente, pues no se me dieron porque fue muy poco tiempo. Me sentí, y todavía me siento, la verdad, hay veces que me siento que me hace falta estar allá. Me siento como que me hubieran echado de mi propia casa.
How do you feel when people from the United States create a stigma about immigrants, that they're bad, they cause social harm and economic harm to U.S. citizens?
Pues se siente mal porque la verdad es que así como centroamericanos que somos, la verdad, fíjate que ahorita te vengo a entender la pregunta que me hiciste con eso, la verdad, porque la verdad nosotros somos unas personas que aportamos mucho a Estados Unidos, a la economía, en el trabajo, en todo, pues porque la construcción siempre se hace por nosotros los centroamericanos. El roofing o pintura o cualquier trabajo es hecho por nosotros y no vamos a ganar la misma cantidad que los americanos. Nosotros ganamos súper menos que los americanos, nomás por no ser de allá, pues uno se siente mal, la verdad. Uno se siente discriminado, la verdad, por eso, pero no sé.
If you were to stay in the United States and build up a savings over years, what would you do with that money?
O poner mi propia compañía, superarme, tal vez mandarle a poner un negocio para mi familia en el país, para que ellos también salgan adelante y que se puedan superar también así como yo estoy superando. Porque en Estados Unidos, si uno trabaja, tiene muchas oportunidades. Aunque gane poco, no gane la gran cantidad que ganan los americanos, pero allá si uno es recto trabajando, porque la verdad, fíjate que yo la verdad, nomás el problema que me agarró migración es una redada de trabajo, pero yo nunca, en el tiempito que estuve allá, no tuve problemas con la ley.
So you would start your own company in the United States?
Sí, si lo pudiera hacer, sí, pero hay veces que no lo puedes pero teniendo la oportunidad como usted, así viéndola, me gustaría mucho poner una compañía en Estados Unidos y sería el lugar donde yo comenzaría, porque la verdad yo si llego a Estados Unidos yo no quisiera, la verdad, amo mi país y a todos mis compatriotas, pero la verdad regresar a vivir a Honduras no me gustaría, porque la verdad ya la vida es muy peligrosa. Allá tú no puedes salir a la calle confiado por las pandillas. Hay muchos jóvenes que se vienen de allá por ese mismo problema, porque tal vez ellos, si no se meten a las pandillas, no los dejan tranquilos o hasta los pueden matar. Entonces, a mí personal no me gustaría regresar a vivir a mi país. Nomás tener bien a mi familia o si lograr algún día hacer mi sueño realidad, ¿verdad? De lograr tener un documento, papeles de Estados Unidos y nomás ir a visitar a mi familia, pero vivir a mi tierra.
In the coming months or years, do you hope to make it back to the United States?
Sí, por eso la verdad, como se lo decía, no tengo trabajo acá, no tengo una ayuda económica, la verdad, pero me voy a esperar aquí el tiempo que sea, aunque sea yendo a recoger basura o lo que sea para sobrevivir. No me importa si estoy 2 años aquí o 3 años para llegar allá, pero sí, tengo la fe en Dios que sí voy a llegar para allá a Estados Unidos, porque yo no tengo familia que me apoye ni allá, ni en Estados Unidos, ni en mi país, porque la verdad mi familia es de Paso, la verdad.
How do you plan on getting back into the United States?
Porque la verdad hasta el momento no sé, tal vez como lo hice la primera vez, de ilegal, porque la verdad ya fui a solicitar permiso aquí y me lo negaron, porque con el permiso de aquí que te estaban dando para la caravana, te está dando un permiso que podías pedir asilo político. Y como yo ya no pude lograr eso, fui hace una semana a solicitarlo y me dijeron que no. Entonces...
Carlos was incredibly kind to us. He showed us around his shelter. Needless to say, the living conditions were awful.
Right, this is the lowest floor. About 20 or so people sleep here.
Slow, be careful, step by step, like pinkies on the block.
Okay, this is where the actual families are inside.
Hola.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
¿No la desamarraste acá o te la ropa?
Other places like the ones that have a door, obviously because of the privacy that it allows. That's where families stay or women. Right now it's kind of empty because most people are working. The ones that don't have a job right now are staying here right now. Like they're here, present at the time. 20 people just here, plus the people in the rooms. That makes up to 30 or so people. We're trying to restore the building as we can with the help of a civil association because the government just doesn't help at all.
Following Carlos's interview, we made a quick stop for lunch and then returned to one of the previous shelters we had visited earlier in the day. That's where we met Hector. His story sheds light on prevalent social and political issues. Yet, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time and was evidently deported.
And I see a car going in reverse, and I see another one. I said, what is this guy doing? He's gonna cause an accident. And bam, he caused an accident. There were two Caucasian people. The guy on the caused the accident was barefooted, no shoes, shorts, and he wrecked. He totaled his car, and the other person was also a Caucasian guy. I said, oh man, there was a lot of people because it was a hot day. So he approaches me and he says, I'll give you $100. When the cops get here, you tell them. I think I can get away from me, man. Yeah. So once all those witnesses are there, I'll cut it short. The cops get there and says, you come here, put your hands in the car. I went ahead, followed. Put your hands in the back. I put my hands in the back. Searched me, and then he throws a handcuff. I said, wait, why are you arresting me? He said, you were driving one of those cars. I said, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not gonna lie. I said, you dirty, dumbass, pig motherfuckers. I said, there's two white people there. I look white. And they just started beating me up, and they tried to put the handcuffs on me. I wouldn't let them. Even the fireman jumped in and he knee me, and he just. I felt like a little rag. I couldn't even move. Yeah. They turned me around. They tied me, legs and everything. Threw me on the back of a police officer's car. And obviously, the officers probably within a few minutes found out, hey, you know what? This guy wasn't even there. Yeah. Was, you know what? I already know you were not driving. But guess what? I'm going to take you in anyways for assaulting a police officer. And I'll be honest with you, I told him, fuck you too, you piece of shit, motherfucker. Yeah. I told him. Anyways, that's why I ended up over here. Wow. They figured, this guy's going to sue us, and I was.
So how'd you get a social security number?
Because I got it in 1973. In 1973, you didn't have to present any birth certificate, nothing. Where were you born? LA. Boom. Right through.
So that was the first time.
Yeah,
so
and the first time. I've been there 2 times. And then that's it. This time I said, you know what? That's it.
Okay. So what?
And the second time, my girlfriend and I actually, she was a white, blue eyes, the whole works. Her dad is a Canadian. Yeah. Canadian French. We got along so fine, so good together. But she was very beautiful. But in a way, it had to happen that way. I guess I should have known better. She was too beautiful for me. So, anyways, she ended up with a cop that was. Oh man. Anyway, so it's all done, and I figure I'm just gonna stay right here.
So the second time you got deported was 2014.
Yeah, I've been here 4 years and 4 months now, and I've been here, and I'm not planning on going back. I'm just, 59 years old now, so it's right here. You're an old man already, so that's where I'm having problems as far as getting into my trade. I have a high level of capacity and knowledge, but right here, I can still get in it, but I need to get my documentation for schooling, which I could. It's in the school district,
Right.
but I've been having a hard time, getting that. But so I ended up going to this center over here. Some guy took me, hey, let's go to take this test. I said, that's for lazy people, man. I'm used to working out there on top of rooftops. I work in commercial buildings, bigger than this, frozen foods, millions of dollars worth of, goods in there and stuff.
So when did your business fall apart? Was it after the first time or the second?
No, that's after now that I.
So it was the second time.
My breast couldn't handle that.
Right. So the second time. So what exactly happened the second time?
The second time, I was not aware. I was going to work, and all of a sudden, I see this 2 cars unmarked. What the hell? At first I thought they were gangbangers, ball-headed and stuff. What the hell? But they rushed me like I was some kind of a big mobster or something. I said, oh man, this guy. And, oh no, they're cops. What the hell? And then I saw they're probably confusing me with somebody else. Once they see I'm just a little peon motherfucker, they just, oh, get the hell out of here. No, it was me they were looking for. My girlfriend called them. I didn't even know. She called those bastards in me and said, what the hell? And they got me in. And
so she called because you were an illegal immigrant?
Yeah, I said, I talked to her after, you didn't have to. That's fucking chicken shit, man, what you done to me, man. My mom's out there, 84 years old, that was a chicken shit.
Was she working with them, or was
No, she was not working with them. She was just out of something grew up or something, and she just said, I said, you know what? And that's really why I just decided to, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm not gonna be in a place where I'm not wanted.
Right.
I never thought in a million years that I would end up here. I hate this country. And I hate everybody in it. That's what I used to say to myself. I could not believe how it is a horrible experience. And anyone will tell you the same thing. I can't go over there to visit, they've been over here, but I was so close to my grandkids, you have no idea. Grandpa. Go get a haircut with them, and I was very close to them. Right. And that is something that it is an incredible, horrible experience.
So that's how it is, like with all deportees.
They see us as outsiders.
Okay.
They see us as outsiders, and they think that we're putting a lot of load on Tijuana and all. You know what? Listen to me. I was 8 years old when I was taken over there, man. Don't come over here telling me, what am I going to do?
The next day, we went to check out Border Angels. Enrique had given us the address after we interviewed him in San Diego. The shelter is literally about 150 feet from the US-Mexico border. That's where we met Hugo, the top supervisor of the shelter in Tijuana. We hoped his insight would help us gain a better understanding of the situation plaguing this northern Mexican city.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for these individuals to seek asylum in the United States? Or just in being in Tijuana in general?
To be in Tijuana, one of the biggest challenges is that Tijuana is a really, really violent city. Also the police, because the police here in Tijuana search kind of target people who are carrying a backpack, you know, as most of the migrants are, and ask them for IDs. If they don't have an ID, the police take them to detain them for between 10 hours to 72 hours.
So have you had people at the shelter been detained by the police?
Yes, and
for doing nothing?
For doing nothing, and we have been protesting against that action, and but we have been able to reduce, you know, the number of migrants being detained by the police, but still many migrants have been detained by the police because they don't carry IDs.
So have you personally received any threats?
I just last year in November when the first members of the caravan arrived, they arrived here to Friendship Park, and we provide them with coffee and oatmeal. It was a group larger than 100, and you know they start to arrive at morning, and in the night they were around 300 of them. And local residents protest. They did a kind of a small march and a rally against the migrants, and to a point, you know, violence, race, and many of the local residents started to throw rocks to the migrants. And I was there. I was intervening and trying to pacify the actions, and I did receive threats, and that action went viral, and I started to receive a lot of messages through my Facebook page. People threatened me that, you know, I was not patriotic and something like that.
Wow. Have you ever been in a situation where you feared your life?
Yes.
Can you describe that for us? From helping these individuals.
Yeah. In 2013, I have been in a lot of situations where I feel danger. My life is in danger. In 2013, because I was conducting a lot of protests against police operation against migrants, I was arrested in 5 occasions in 2013 and 1 in 2014. And on one of that occasion, I was directly beaten by the police officers, and they say that I should stop. I should stop my actions, and and also in that same year, because I was reacting like Occupy movement here in Tijuana with 847 migrants sleeping in tents. I was threatened on 2 occasions by the criminals that cannot have a control of the area. They say that with my actions, I was affecting their business. And one of them pointed, you know, I didn't realize that I was carrying a gun, and he just put me at my ear, and he said that he was going to kill me if I continued affecting their business.
Running the shelter.
Oh, because it's kind of brings means to it makes meaningful my life, you know. It makes kind of I have another really important reason why to keep fighting. I feel that I have to do it. It brings kind of energy to my life.
Is there a risk for the people that stay here and just migrants in general to be extorted by gangs in Tijuana?
Yeah, it had happened last month on 3 occasions. They were extorted. Not only here in some other shelters, outside the shelters, migrants have been extorted by criminals. And last year, at the end of November and I think at the middle of December. On some occasions, criminal groups came here and to start to assault them, especially because there were a lot of Central Americans here, and they say that these criminal groups, they say that they were in control of the border, the place where they can cross the border, so they want them their part. So they were asking for 500 pesos each one, that is like $30. First they tried with 1,000 pesos, like $50, and they say, okay, give me $30 each one, and then we're gonna let you. And they came in 2 occasions.
So, what do you do in that situation? Do you pay them?
No, I wasn't here. It happened on the night, and yeah, they did pay the one that had money, targeting migrants who have been deported because they know that they have money or they have relatives. They can pay can pay a ransom. Some of them are kidnapped, and the criminal gangs are asking around $5,000 each one, and and they are invisible ones. The migrants, they are not considered still citizen members. They are just, as migrants, they are kind of more vulnerable.
Hugo confirmed Hector's comments regarding the harassment of immigrants and even those trying to help. Hugo was lucky enough to survive the kidnapping and attacks that he experienced. We sat down with another man named Efrain, who also survived the kidnapping. Efrain's story represents that of both Hector's and Hugo's, but with a lot more pain.
So you were in the U.S. for 46 years, and you would try to achieve citizenship on 3 separate occasions. What years did you try to achieve citizenship?
And my mother, and then they put me in 74, 76. I tried it back in 87, and 2002, and again in 2012.
And what happened each time? Go through the scenario in each time.
Okay, the first time when my parents put it in, they said they called year after year. I was in preschool in first, second grade at that time. Time went by, the years passed by, and they kept on calling. They told us we had to wait 15, 20 years, however long it takes, 12 to 15 years, they said. Anyways, time went flying by. And in 86 or 87, I don't remember exactly, there was amistad and going on, the application, I don't know exactly, I think it was George Bush. Anyways, me and my wife went and filled out all the applications, paid all the applications, and my blood test, my physical, my fingerprints, and my pictures, and sent all that in to Paso, Texas, and they told us that they were going to get a hold of us. A year passed by, we called, and they said, no, they have to wait. You have to wait because there's 100,000 ahead of you. There's 100,000 behind you. So until your paperwork comes up to our desk, then we'll call you, give you 2 weeks to get ready. So 2002, we're in a club. We got into a little scuffle, whatever, and security guards called the cops. We all went to jail for public intoxication. And ICE, when we bought it out, ICE was there. No, INS was there. Before ICE, it was the INS, the green ones. They picked us up and they took us all the way to El Paso, from Midland, Texas, all the way to El Paso. I was there for 4 or 5 months and fighting and telling them I was a United States citizen to my grandfather, explaining to them that he adopted me and that he's an American because he's born in New Mexico. And they asked me for his birth certificate, all his income tax paperwork, all my school records, any kind of paperwork stating with my name on it, with my bills, stating that I paid electric, everything, anything with my name on it throughout the years. So I got all that from Judge Pinksmith, and I spent almost 20 grand like in 4 months, and I told her, I said I'm out of money. I said I don't have no more money. I said I don't want to borrow money from my family because when I get out, it's going to take a long time for me to catch up on my bills and on them in 2002. Okay, and I waited and waited, like 6-7 months later, they called us and we had one interview in Paso, Texas. Me and my oldest son, my kids went over there, and they let them go upstairs. They talked to the judge, they rescheduled all, he told them all the paperwork that I needed to get for them, for my American citizenship, and for my residence, and that 249 was my residence. I didn't know at the time. I wish I would have known. Anyways, so we waited and waited. Years passed by. In 2012, at New Year's at 4 o'clock in the morning, we got pulled over by the sheriff's department. We got put in jail and bonded out, and ICE, the new immigration, ICE went and picked us up and took us to Houston, Texas. I was there exactly for 1 year, exactly 1 year. And fight I had a lawyer there. We had a pay lawyer, and we went to 2-3 courts. And one of the courts, my son was there, and the judge told him, I told the judge, I said, I am an American citizen. He goes, what do you mean you're an American citizen? I said, look, judge, I said, I was born in Chihuahua, but I was 8 months old. My grandfather went and adopted me. I said, he's an American. That makes me automatic an American citizenship through my grandfather. I said, you can deport me for 20 years. I said, I'm already fixing to be 50 years old. I said, I'll be 70 years old. I got 20 years to wait in Mexico and then come back to the United States. I'll be 70. I said, I'll probably be dead by then. He said, I was courted all the way to Virginia. In Virginia, in Falls Church, Virginia, they sent me a letter. I sent all my paperwork, all my proof that I've been here all my life, because I filled out an N-600 American citizenship there, an application where I was there in Houston. And that went through, okay? And Donna Carr, she's the head executive chief there, and she sent me a letter stating that Efrain Galindo is an American citizen. He does have enough proof that he is an American citizen to his grandfather, Petronio Galindo, that he is a United States citizen. He's got proof of his birth certificate, all his income tax paperwork, and Efrain does have all the information that we need, that he does have enough proof that he's an American citizen. So I have one more court to go to. After that, I was going to, me, myself, and my brother, we're going to go take all the paperwork to the main courts there in Paso, Virginia. And exactly 1 year we were there. ICE went over there and moved us because they said there was an overflow from Houston, Texas. They moved us to Livingston, Texas, 45 minutes away. It's another Fed facility. It's ICE and U.S. Marshals and I guess FBI home facility for the prisoners. Anyways, they moved us there. I was there 4 months. At 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, they called our names and went to our cell blocks. Called about 15, 20 of us. They called our names and they told us to go to follow the guard all the way to get changed out. And once we got changed out, ICE was there. They called each one of us one by one. They told us to sign this paper so they could give us our property that we had there at that county, at the jail. And we all signed, about 4 o'clock in the morning, we all signed. They gave us our property and everything. We changed out to regular clothes. We got all our commissary, all our stuff. And they put us in a bus. And that bus went back from Livingston to Houston, Texas, and picked up more people. They filled up the bus from the CCA in Houston, Texas, and 6 to 8 hours later, we ended up over there in Tamaulipas, Laredo, Texas, right there at the border. And it was about 11 o'clock at night, and they told us all to get out of the car and get out to Mexico. Man, we got deported.
So you never got your...
My last court, I never get to go to my last court. I have won my appointment for me to be in El Paso, Texas, so I could go get my American citizenship. The INS didn't know that ICE had already sent me without permission of the judge to Mexico. They didn't know that I had been deported in my permission.
So you were in jail, and then they put you on a bus, and then they put you on a bus, and they dumped you in Mexico.
Yeah, when dumped us in Mexico without the permission of the judge. And I had told him, I said, look, I said, you can't deport me, man. I said, I have one more court to go to. As a matter of fact, I said, the judge has a stamp. He goes, no, it doesn't matter about the judge. It's what we say. They said, that's what they told us. He goes, we don't give a damn what the judge said. It's what we say.
So what happened? When you got the call from your family, you weren't allowed to come back into the United States.
Deported. I tried it 3 times. Where locations that we had to go to, we were going to Chihuahua. They sent us to Torreon, from Torreon to Chihuahua. And Chihuahua, the state capital, is 6 hours from the frontera. So we came back to Ojinaga. When we got to Ojinaga, it was like at 5:30. I remember exactly like at 5:30 at night. The sun was already going down. So there, they got big mountains, and the sun was already peaking on the other side of the mountain. And we got there, it was me, a lady, and 3 other guys. And we had the little red bags that the ICE gives you, that the immigration gives you over there. They put all your paperwork from the courts, and they give you 2 boxes, t-shirts, and 2 pair of socks. And we had that. And that's how they know that we get deported from. They already know. They got. Anyways, the cartel there in Juarez has got all Chihuahua control. They pays all the policías, all the federales, all the soldiers. Every government worker is getting paid off from the cartel. Anyways, we got there and I asked the lady, I said, ma'am, can you please tell me where the beef is? And she goes, well, I can't, I can explain to you, but let me write you a map. He said, she went to the office, and she wrote me a little map. She was there about 15, 20 minutes, and she made a couple of phone calls. We were sitting right there by the office in the little hallway waiting, and she finally came out, and she handed me a little piece of paper with 4 blocks this way, on 8th Street this way, six blocks this way, and you find Deep. Because Deep lets you stay there 3 days and 3 nights. Or you contact your family, let them know that the immigration already sent you back to Mexico. Anyways, we waited. We took off. I told her thank you. And while she was in office, she called the main people, the sicarios and whoever they sent to go pick up. Anyways, we were walking like 20, 30 minutes away. We were walking down the sidewalk, and this big old white truck comes up. Woo! Pulls up. It was a Denali 4-door. I remember exactly. It was a GMC Denali, a pearl white, and it was a red one parked behind us. And they jumped the curb. On top of the curb, they both got off. The driver, when he got off, he had a little Tech, I guess a Tech 9 or a machine gun, a little one. And he was screaming at us, Súbanse, for us to get in. I said, no. I said, fuck no. And the guy that was with me, my partner, he froze. He got scared. And the passenger had a dagger. He had a dagger, and in his right hand he had a 9mm or a 40 caliber right here. I don't know what it was, because it happened so fast. Kicking and fighting, scratching. The other 2 guys had been there, and she was giving them a fight. And I turned around to go help her. When I turned around, I threw the bag. I hit the guy with the bag. He stuck me right here.
Yeah.
Right here. He stuck me, grabbed me, He goes, no te subes en la troca, que tu pinche madre te va a sacar las tripas. He told me, if you don't follow my rules, get in the damn truck, I'm gonna gut you. But I done felt the damn blade all the way over here. I thought I was like, whoa, I had to give up. I didn't have no choice. And he was choking me at the same time, and I was watching her. They were dragging her to the truck. They were dragging me to the other truck. They threw me in there. Him and the driver threw me in there. The other guy was already bolted. He was like bent all the way down. Because it was a 4-door Denali. In the back seat, they put us in the back seat to the seats in the floorboard for us to look down. And I remember when he kicked the door, when he jumped in the front, he threw the dagger and he pulled the 9. And he cocked it and he goes, if you look up, he goes, I want you to go all the way, bend all the way down. And I was screaming because of the damn pain in my back. I could feel all the blood coming down my butt cheeks, behind my leg. And I was holding, and finally the gun pushed me all the way down. So we took off. The red truck passed us, and he was following the red truck about, I don't know exactly where it's at. They had to beat down. Anyways, we got to the ranch, and they pulled us out. And I remember going into the kitchen when they had me by the neck, they pulled me down because there were a couple chows and everything. Don't look up, they tell you in Spanish. No mires para arriba, pinche madre. They took us into the kitchen. Right there in the kitchen, there was a blanket. The one that's got the little fuzzy hairs at the end. They moved the blanket, and they had a little chain with the lock on it and the door. Where the doorknob is, they had a chain. They threw us in there. I remember there was like 2, 3 covers. There's 2 5-gallon buckets in there, 3 switch. They threw us all in there. And I was in pain, man. I was hurting so bad, man. Tears were coming out. And the lady that was all, I remember I still see her right there. She was still crying and screaming, what's going on? I told us, calm down, please, calm down. Because they told us, va más que se cae, hijo de la chingada, si no la vamos a matar. I told her, finally calm down. And they told us every time they would open up the door, I need you to get on your knees and face the wall. I said, what did I do that for? I said, if y'all wearing masks, I'm like, Charles, they got masks on. You can't see them. dressed up regular. They got machine guns, they got masks on. Anyways, that night, nothing happened. The following morning, they pulled her out to call her family. They pulled her out first, and then they told her family when she called. She was sitting there crying and crying. She hardly couldn't talk. She was so damn nervous. Anyways, she called her family. She asked her family. She goes, me, one of her sons. I remember I could hear because the table was like from here to where the camera is, and the door's right there. The room wasn't that big. It was like a 10 by 10. Anyways, she called and talked to her son. She goes, son, I need to tell you something very important to take serious. She goes, please help me. And she was crying. She goes, what, mom? I could hear her, what, mom? What, mom? She goes, I need $10,000. You got 1 week to come up with 10 grand. He goes, what do you mean? What are you talking about? She goes, I can't tell you the whole story, but just find me $10,000 and I'm going to pass you this lady. The lady was a heavy-set Mexican lady. There was 2-3 young girls, not young, I guess like in her early 20s. And there's like 4 or 5 guys standing there watching, taking care of her because she's the one that ran the whole ranch. Because at that ranch, they were transporting mochilas, big old bags of drugs. They would transport drugs out of there, and they were holding people hostage there at the same time. Because I remember down the hallway, there was 3-4 more rooms down the hallway. The house was pretty big. They had people from Nicaragua, they had people from Honduras, and people from Guatemala. They had people from here, from Mexico, in different rooms. And they were charging them $20,000. They only had 1 week, 7 days to come up with 20 grand. And the Mexicanos were charging us $10,000 in 1 week to come up. Anyways, that went through. That lady, she finished her phone calls and everything. They grabbed her, they threw her back in her room. She was crying. I don't know what happened. I was sitting there. They called the following day. They called the guy that was with me. He called his son, and I guess in Brownsville, Texas. I don't know.
And you're still bleeding out through all this while it's all
I
coming.
had this. The lady had cut a shirt. She cut a white T-shirt and kind of bandaged me right here. Anyways, the next day when they pulled out my friend, like the guy that was with me, in jail and everything, they pulled him out. They were standing on the wall, facing the damn wall. We had to sit there and wait because the door was open. They had one guard right there, and the other guard took him over there where the table was to make a phone call. They made a phone call for him. And his son thought that he was playing around. He goes, no, son. He goes, I need 10,000 American dollars. I said, you got 1 week to pay these people. He goes, they told me hostage that you were already over there in Acuña. She goes, yes, I called you last night, but I'm in Chihuahua right now. You got picked up. And his son didn't believe him. He thought he was joking around. And the lady said, give me that damn phone. She took the phone from him. I remember, no, está no cabo. He told him, está no cabo, habla con ella. And he tried to take the phone back. And when he tried to grab the phone back, when the fucking guy just punched him, boom, punched him. He falling all the way back to the wall, hit the wall. I remember the other two grabbed him and threw him in the room. And he told him, chinga tu madre. When he told him, chinga tu madre, they both went in there and started beating him. Boom, 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 boom. I was on my knees. The lady hit my knee. When he hit my knee, I looked like that, and the guy was standing right behind me. So I got frustrated. I got pissed off. And I told you when I first got out, I was about his size, 210. I grabbed him by his knee, right here by his leg, picked him up, and I slammed. I should have never done that. At that time when we ran it down, that other guy with the gun hit me, knocked all my teeth out right here. Knocked my teeth out, and they started. 2 more guys came in, so I had 3 guys on me, boom, 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 beating the hell out of me. The other one beating the hell out of him. They beat me so bad, my head was all knotted up. These teeth were knocked out, and that damn Sagati at the same time. I remember seeing the damn. I remember seeing the dagger. He had the damn same Sagati who had the damn dagger. As if because they're in that room that we're in, they had the boards, they had the plywood. Plywoods were, at the time we were fighting. That son of a bitch stuck me. He stuck me right here, and it came out through here. All this, well, they cut like an inch off. They cut about an inch off on each side because cut all the muscle, everything. When I got to the hospital later on, I'll tell you in a minute, they had to cut like an inch off all the way to the side, on the inside and the outside. That was the second night.
Okay, so let's go back to when you arrived and you were dropped off from the bus at the second location back in Mexico, right? In Chihuahua. And you were walking to a shelter?
Going to a shelter.
And you were by yourself. You were by yourself.
No, it was me.
No, you were. Yeah. So but you guys didn't have any security, any protection.
No,
it was just.
No, we were going to the deep. We were looking for a
right.
shelter.
So there was 3 of you. There you walking.
It was 3 behind me, and it was 2 in the head. It was 5 of us. 3 Mexicanos and the lady.
And was this daytime or nighttime?
5:30, 6 in the afternoon.
So this was afternoon.
The sun was already sitting down.
And did you guys have no other option but to go there?
Yeah, that's it.
You got off the bus in the afternoon, and you had to go to the shelter. To the shelter.
Because they gave you 3 days. They had totals over there in Acuña. I need you to go and find deep. They're gonna let you stay there for 3 days and 3 nights. That way you can eat, shower, and call your family.
And the lady who you asked directions from probably called.
She was working. She works at the bus station, but at the same time, she works for the cartel. Yeah, they're the ones that let the cartels know that the people come in and get deported. They arrive there with delivery bags, or if you speak English, they'll call the cartels, and they'll send the sicarios to pick you up.
Okay, so let's go back to that day when after he stabs you, what happens?
Well, they beat the hell out of me. They beat me so bad. I didn't even know I was cut until the lady was sitting there screaming and crying and crying. When I woke up, my whole body was numb because I got knocked out. My whole body was numb and I was coming back together. I remember shaking. I was shaking real bad, and then she was holding my arm. She was like, look what you did, you know, just hit her. And I said, what? And I said, all this gushing, man. Because it was wide open, it was gapped open. He cut a muscle, it swells up. It was so swollen. I still got the x-rays from the hospital. My arms were about this swollen all the way to my tips. I looked like a damn frog. Anyways, this shirt was tight on me, both of the arms. That happened that night. 2 days later, again, the main guy got there, and I told him, I said, can I please talk to you? Come on, hablar contigo, banging on the door. And he went, ¿qué pasó? And I said, no, señor. I said, no, yo no hice la verdad. I said, that piece of shit right there with the dagger, que me la hoja de chivenado. I said, ese cabrón me lo que hizo, and I took off my shirt, and I unwrapped the shirt. Esto me lo hicieron. I told him, I said, this is what they did to me to get in the truck. This is what they did to me 2 nights ago. My arm was real sore, and it was stuck. It was full of blood and pus. Anyways, that lady unwrapped it for me. Unwrapped it, and I showed him. And he told him, why in the hell I told you not to touch these people? I said, not this, they don't pay. They got 7 days. You should never touch them. I said, I didn't give you the right to touch them, to beat them, nothing. After the 7th day, you take them out there, you put a bullet on their head. And the family members don't pay 10,000. She goes, but other than that, and the lady told him, you don't say qué pasó. She was lying too. I don't know what happened. I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. I told her, you're fucking lying. I see you're sitting right there, 7-10 feet away from me. You knew that they were beating the hell out of us. I said, all 4 of them. Anyways, after they left, I should have never done that, man. After he left, later on that night, by 11, 12 o'clock at night, they went back in there after the main boss left. The main cartel guy, not the main guy, but the ones in charge of all that shit. After he left, they went there and beat the hell out of us for telling on them. They told the cartel that we were trying to escape.
So how did you get out of that situation? How did you eventually leave?
They threw me. After they left, they went there and beat the hell out of us. This one is for lying. They beat us. They bit my damn arm. And the same guy for telling on them. The main cartel went over and fucking and gushed me. He took all that muscle. He cut all this muscle off. Nothing but muscle. Anyways, that happened. They beat the hell out of us again. Like on the 6th day, I couldn't get up. I couldn't move my arms. I was laying down in the corner. The lady put me in the corner of the doors right here. I was in the corner, bent sideways because I was bent like that. My legs and my body was like that because I couldn't get up. It was my turn to call, and I told them, I said, no me puedo levantar. And they didn't believe me. They thought I was faking. I said, look what you did to me, you stupid motherfuckers. I said, y'all knocked all my damn teeth out. My head's all busted up. My eyes were like raccoons. I couldn't see shit. My back, when they kicked me, they broke these damn legs. Anyways, I told them, I said, I can't get up. And they didn't believe me, so no te vas a levantar. They called one of the other fucking sicarios. He went over there and he goes, boom, he kicked me twice in the stomach. He tried to kick me in my private, but he kicked me in the stomach. And I was screaming from the pain. I was already all cut up. He goes, ¿estás levantado o no? I said, hell no, yo me voy a levantar. I said, tráeme el teléfono para acá. And he went, and cut me. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 holes right here on my ass cheek in front of those people. I got 5 big old holes right there where he stuck me. Because I didn't want to get up. I couldn't get up. And the lady, she jumped on top of me. She pushed him away and jumped on top of me to try to save me. But it's already too late. Anyways, that reason I was fucking chopped up. I couldn't see shit. I couldn't hear shit.
So what happened? Did someone from your family pay the $10,000?
My son's in his fucking body. After 6 days, I couldn't hear shit. My hearing went away. All the fucking blood that I lost. I called my lawyer 4 months ago. I told her, I said, what the fuck's going on? I said, it's been 2 fucking years. No, Efrain, I said, I'm sick and tired of using me for fucking publicity. Y'all fucking receiving thousands and thousands of fucking American dollars. They don't even fucking look for me. They didn't give me $5 fucking for fucking hamburger. There's the ladies, people who've been coming here. One came from Spain, the other one came from Italy. They're film producers. They took my story. That fucking sorry ass pastor where I was at. I was there for a year and a half. This other pastor who met me. He was receiving all the checks and everything. I didn't know. They made a movie from the fronteras, and my story was part of the main part of the movie over there. And he received, I don't know how many thousands.
Who received?
The fucking pastor where I was staying at. He's not a pastor. He paid for this fucking certificate to become a pastor. He's just an idiot from Los Angeles too. They got deported over here. I was over there for a year and a half until I found out that he's been receiving all these fucking checks from these people that came a year and a half ago and took my story and they made a movie over there in Spain and in Italy, another country. And from England, a guy from England came too. And he told me, he goes, I'm going to send you, when I get all this going and everything, he goes, I'm going to send you your part of the movie. You're part of the money. I said, that's fine. I said, I don't have no address here or nothing. I said, you can send it to the pastor. And all this time, I've been asking the pastor, have you received anything? No, I haven't received nothing. He's been lying all this past year and a half. There's a lot of people's been coming. And they tell me this and that, but I never received nothing. I've been here every 3 months. I came, that's why I lived over there.
So you were staying over there?
It's like an hour from here.
Is it a church? It's a church? Or?
Yeah, it's a shelter and a church.
And a church? And so you told them to send the money to the church because of this movie that's being made.
That's the only address I had. She's the best lawyer, a silent lawyer here. Her name's Nicole Ramos. And she has her friend, her boss lady, the main boss in Los Angeles. They have her father is an immigration judge. Chihuahua. I said, I don't give a fuck what I do. I'm gonna cross back to my family. I said, I'm over here. She goes, don't do that. Please don't do that, Efrain. Please don't do that. I said, you already been through so much.
There, how does that make you feel? You can literally reach over and touch the U.S. ground right there, and you live some 100 feet away from it, from the U.S. border. But then you can't cross over and see your family at all. Once again, while we hoped this was an anomaly, Efrain represents one of hundreds of people kidnapped each year by cartels and local gangs. Efrain's story stayed with all of us the rest of the day. In a country where there's a tremendous amount of violence and corruption, we thought it was only right for us to provide a little bit of humanity. So the next morning, we went to work. So we're going back to Carlos's shelter, and before we go back, we're gonna pick up some food for him and the other individuals staying there. Alright, so we just got some paper plates and water for the people at Carlos's shelter, as well as with the chicken, just so they have something to eat for the upcoming week. We really wanted to do this because Carlos was telling us that they only eat about once or twice every 2 or 3 days. Hola, Carlos. Yeah, I mean, if we want to set up on the table, like put all the food on the table and then just hand it out, and then whatever is like left over, they will just keep it here somewhere.
Gracias.
De nada. Oh, this is awesome. Like, honestly, like, this is, like, there's not, I can't describe it. I seriously can't describe this. It's just, it's amazing. At the end of the day, like, this is all we came to Tijuana to do, seriously, is help people.
While we were handing out food, an older gentleman stood up and began to speak. From what I understood, his story was shocking.
Desayunaba y de ahí trabajaba para el bordo. En el bordo viví cerca de 1 año, adentro en el bordo. Sucedían muchas cosas dentro de ese canal. Podías andar caminando, de repente ya mirabas que alguien tomaba una piedra o por algún motivo y caminando le pegaba a otro en la cabeza con la piedra. Se estaba viviendo de una manera muy difícil adentro, en el que la vida pues ahora sí no valía nada. Lo menciona así, vi pues como atacaban a las mujeres, todo eso, las golpeaban, las ultrajaban, hacían lo que querían con ellas, muy feo. Salgo yo y sigo caminando, vagando por aquí, y sin darme cuenta de nada ya. Y fue cuando Miguel me habló y pues aquí me quedé, de aquí estoy y pues cambió drásticamente mi vida de ese lugar acá. Y ha sido pues una gran diferencia. Levanto y empiezo a limpiar, a hacer todas estas cosas, a tender colchones, a hacer todo lo que se pueda hacer. Los baños, todo. Y lo hago como llegan las personas, los atiendo, los ayudo. En lo que pueda llegan muchas personas que vienen inválidas, otros con muletas, todo eso. Así mi labor, con mucho gusto, hago esas cosas humanitariamente. ¿Por qué? Porque yo pienso que en estos tiempos nos necesitamos todos y estar unidos. No es tanto eso, sino que ya es tiempo de empezar a caminar todos unidos, porque es la única manera de cambiar el mundo. Pues a mí me da mucho gusto que hayan estado aquí con nosotros. Muchas veces nosotros vivimos por donaciones, todos esos movimientos. A veces tenemos, a veces pues como podemos, tenemos todas esas necesidades que todavía existen y desgraciadamente pues a uno le duele ver humanos que somos, pero todavía no hemos terminado de terminar todas esas cosas, esos sufrimientos pues que ve uno día con día. Mientras yo esté aquí, seguiré prestándoles mi ayuda. A mí no me importa cómo yo me encuentre. Ahora lo que a mí me importa es poder ayudar a los que menos tienen. Es una satisfacción y yo creo en Dios porque Él ha hecho posible que yo haga esta labor. Y yo les agradezco a ustedes este espacio y les agradezco también y le doy 1.000.000 de gracias por vernos brindado esta comida que pues estaba pensando pues ¿qué será que iremos a comer hoy? Tenía tanta sed, tenía que tomarme pues agua. Porque hoy no hay, el garrafón está roto. Pues tenemos necesidades fuertes, estamos ayudando a estas personas salvadoreñas y todas aquellas personas que han venido antes, como fueron los haitianos, los africanos, todas esas personas. Y pues yo estoy agradecido por ellos y hoy agradecido por todos ustedes. Okay.
While we managed to interview the most incredible people with the most incredible stories, we still had not accomplished our goal of finding someone from the most recent caravan. We had one last shelter that we planned to visit before we left Tijuana.
So we're at our last immigrant shelter here in Tijuana, and we just wanted to get a few more perspectives on this crazy situation to try to figure this all out.
What you'll see next is an interview with a resilient mother who just arrived in Tijuana with her children and her husband the day before we met. We blurred her face to protect her and her family's safety.
Describe the journey from Honduras to Tijuana. What exactly made the journey difficult? Were you ever scared for your life or your children's lives? How did you find places to stay while you were traveling? Did you ever feel any dangers from the police or gangs on your journey? Let's go back to why you left Honduras. Provide me with just an illustration of the situation there before you left. How long ago did you arrive in Tijuana? Yesterday. Wow. Oh my gosh. How long was the journey from Honduras to Tijuana? And were you walking most of the time, or did you find a bus to drive you? Do you think you'll be able to achieve asylum in the United States? What happens if you don't achieve asylum in the United States? What would be the first thing you would do if you made it into the U.S.? What kind of work did you do back in Honduras? So would you open up your own business in the United States if you made it? Do you think people in the United States would like your sodas? What state would you like to live in the United States?
A wife, a mother, an entrepreneur. Paula just wants a better life, not only for herself, but for her family. That's what they all want. No one wants to live in fear. Truthfully, the people that we interviewed in this documentary are more likely to be attacked than aided. We're all human beings. It doesn't matter the race, the culture, the gender, the religion. We're all comprised of the same biological makeup. The purpose of this documentary was not to support a certain political ideology. It was to bring light glaring issues that have plagued the people of Central and South America for years. These men, women, and children cannot go back to the dangers of their home countries, nor can they stay in the uninhabitable shelters with unsuitable living conditions. Yet, they cannot all come into the U.S. due to negative externalities from an open door policy. And what about those individuals like Efrain and Hector who lived in the United States their entire lives? There is no doubt there are broken political and immigration systems throughout Latin America and even the United States, but that is not an excuse to do nothing. My suggestion, we help as many people as we possibly can accomplish their dreams, and maybe, just maybe, they go back to their home countries and help fix their systems. But then again, what do I know? I'm just a mentally delusioned kid who went down to northern Mexico to peer into the fascinating lives, for just a brief moment, of those who have lived an immensely difficult existence. This is Collectio, and thank you for watching Turbulence in Tijuana.